Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Billy and Andre Show, the only podcast which had actual casting in it because there's going to be wizards. How are you doing, my friend?
Really good. You know, every single time we talk about an intro, and I'm like, what he's going to say? And every single time you're like, you see, like, whatever I think you're going to say, it's never that.
Called subversion of expectations, boyo. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
So, because we talked about what you want to talk about today.
Yeah.
We talked about the stuff that you want to talk about today.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with wizards.
Oh, boy. You are in for a long ride, my friend, because this story has everything to do with wizards, and you're going to find out why in a bit.
Okay.
So in case the title...
Tell me about the wizards.
Well, I'm not going to tell you about the wizards just yet. A little bit of intro. Don't jump the gun on me, man. Like I've tried to order this in sort of like an escalating terms of insanity, but it's going to be difficult, and I might jump around a little bit in terms of the timeline. So if the title and the description and the thumbnail of this video haven't given it away, we're talking about Saddam Hussein today, and I was inspired to do this by you, my friend.
What? I didn't do anything. You cannot say I'm an inspiration for that.
You did, because you made a couple of videos, like a couple of podcasts about like 2000s nostalgia. And what could be more nostalgic?
So wait. So nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
It's about being whimsical and just torturing you. So now you're trying to torture me back.
Now I get to torture you back with some of my nostalgia. Do you remember the execution of Saddam Hussein? Do you remember watching that on the internet when you shouldn't have been? Like, you know.
No, I have not watched that.
You never watched that?
I actually did not watch it.
Yeah, it was interesting. His last words were like a traditional, I can't remember the exact name of it, but there's a traditional sort of like call to prayer. And it's not the call to prayer, it's the thing you say that to become a Muslim, basically.
Okay.
He died saying that on repeat. So I didn't realize that at the time. Now I do. You know, now I can look back at my childhood with context.
So last thing I remember about the human, the creature, whatever you want to call
the force
him.
of history that was Saddam Hussein. Yeah.
So the only thing is when he was gave him the penalty, the death penalty, and he's like, I refuse to stand up, and they forced him to stand up. That's the last thing I remember about him.
They also said whilst he was in prison that he would refuse to eat Fruit Loops. They made him eat the Fruit Loops. I'm not making that up.
What's wrong with Fruit Loops? It's an American capitalist pig thing, isn't it?
It's like over-sugared, it's for children. Like, apparently the only time he saw Saddam, this is a quote from a guy who was basically his like prison officer who like brought him his food and his breakfast and shit while he was in detainment by the American government. He said the only time he ever looked defeated was when they ran out of Raisin Bran.
I mean... I don't understand why. I hate Raisin Bran.
He fucking loves some Raisin Bran, apparently. And because of that, he was forced to eat Fruit Loops, which he did not like.
You are about to die, so you should have a good stool, right?
Yeah, you'd want to be regular on your last, as you pass and you hang from the road.
They didn't hang him, did they?
Yeah, they long dropped him.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fun fact. The reason the American government likes to hang war criminals rather than shoot them it's because being shot is considered like an honorable death in the US Army, apparently. So hanging was reserved for war criminals from the Nazis forward, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's execution is a weird history in the American Army, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the man who did actually drop from that stool whilst muttering to himself about the Quran. Saddam Hussein, the dictator of Iraq from 1979 until 2003.
Which is insane.
That's a long time, man.
It's a very long time.
Like, you could conceivably have been born, like, before Saddam took over in Iraq and then have showed up, like, in the invasion. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. It's like, this guy's been in charge, like, longer than I've been alive. And here I am toppling his government.
Wow.
And, yeah. But the thing is, like, before he became the dictator of Iraq, he wasn't like one of those guys who was set up to rule. He kind of worked his way up from the ground up. He joined like the Ba'athist party in like the 50s, and he did like hit squad work for them, basically.
Yeah. I think I read about that. Yeah.
Yeah. He eventually had to leave Iraq for that reason because he did a failed attempt on the current Iraqi prime minister. He got shot and he had to run to Syria on the back of a donkey for 300 miles whilst bleeding out of the leg.
Wow. That's a very long...
That's a very long trek to do on the back of a donkey.
Through the heat of Iraq, guys.
Yeah, through the sand, the dust, and the sheer misery of it. Yeah. He eventually made it to Egypt and studied law for like a year and then dropped out.
he couldn't commit to killing someone. He couldn't commit to law.
Oh, he committed to killing people, man. He was a very good assassin, but that last attack on the prime minister, that's why they selected him for it. After all, it's why he was involved. It wasn't just him. There was a bunch of other guys, but he was the one who escaped.
Wow.
made it to Syria, made it to Egypt, and eventually got back into Iraq. Got thrown in prison by the current government because it changed. Turned out the dictator wasn't long for this world anyway, so it didn't really matter if they'd shot him. But the next government threw him in prison. He broke out. And anyway, a long story short, he ends up becoming like the vice chair of the Ba'athist Party, which is like the political party he represented.
Yeah.
And Baathism, if you don't know, is like a weird sort of hybrid of Soviet-style communism and pan-Arabism and like pan-Islamism. That's what I'm thinking of. So it's like a sort of communism, but for Arab socialist, but also highly religiously conservative. Doesn't make any sense.
They couldn't just stick with one line. They're like, okay, we like a little bit of this, we like a little bit of that, and they just made a party out of that.
Yeah, kind of.
Great.
It was mostly like, do you remember Gaddafi? Gaddafi did a lot of this shit. He was constantly changing and saying, "Oh, I'm a Pan-Africanist now," and then he would like, give a bunch of, if someone else would say, "Hi, I'm a Pan-Africanist, Mr. Gaddafi, give me lots of money," and he would. So that was the kind of thing that used to happen back then when Gaddafi was around. If there was a war that you wanted to fight and you just said, what's Gaddafi in now? He's in his Islamic communism phase. Okay, I'm an Islamic communist. And then you just get tanks. Say what you want about Gaddafi. He had a limitless supply of oil and tanks.
He did use that oil for a lot of evil, didn't he?
He did. To be fair, like him and Saddam Hussein actually have a lot in common. Like they were both like pan-Arabist, pan-Islamic dictators. They both sort of really used religion to keep the people down. They also both had a shitload of oil wealth, and they actually took power about the same. Well, actually, no, Gaddafi was earlier, but they were in power for a lot of it together. Yeah, even if they didn't necessarily always get on with each other.
They're just, and they were psychopaths. That's the other thing they had in common.
True. Here's the thing they have in common that might be the most controversial thing I say on this show. In order to they were basically driving forces behind modernization in Libya and in Iraq. Like, in order to, for example, while he was vice chair of the Ba'athist Party, Saddam pushed for every good thing that Saddam Hussein ever did for the people of Iraq was balanced out by something fucking awful on the other side of it. So, for example, he did a literacy program. He really modernized schooling. Like, he made free universal schools, and, that was the first time that was available in Iraq.
Okay.
The penalty for not showing up to school was 3 years in prison.
I mean, that's not wrong.
No, it's not we prison people for not going to school over here, but it's a little bit more of a soft touch than that.
Because at the end of the day, if you want your nations to go forwards, you need to educate them.
Yeah, the barrel of a gun. That seemed to be his style of doing things. Like I said,
I agree
Soviet
with him, man.
Union.
I agree with him, man. No, I'm joking.
I mean, it's like, oh, your 8-year-old refused to go to school. 3 years in prison. We'll see if you go when you're 12.
No, you send them to prison and you make the prison a university. So all of a sudden they're stuck there and they have to study.
That would be so great. It's like, oh, what's your punishment for me? What are you going to do? Send me to prison where I don't have to go to school? Bitch, you just gave me an idea.
Now you need to read 120 books in the next 2 years.
Yeah. And if you don't, we'll just, Anyway, so yeah, he kept Iraq was famously before, it was sort of unified into a country by dead empires that don't exist anymore. It was basically a bunch of warring ethnic groups who didn't really like one another. Saddam put an end to a lot of internal strife in the area.
How?
By gassing people. By gassing.
I knew exactly where you're
people.
going. You're talking about the Kurds, isn't it?
The Kurds, other lots and lots of other Arab groups, even groups that were Arab but were technically not as in favor of Saddam as he was. It was you're traitors to the cause, gas. He used a lot of chemical weapons on his own people, man.
Also, when he went into power, he shot all of his opposition. So
yes.
He declared everybody a traitor.
Yeah, Soviet-style communism, man. He was kind of very similar to Stalin in more ways than one. He was very, very paranoid. Literally, everybody he thought was trying to somehow subvert him, which is probably why he stayed in power for as long as he did. Because he just was like, I think you're a traitor. Psh, that was it.
Yeah. Well, he did use his son for a lot of it as well, anyway.
He did use his son for a lot of it.
Let's talk about his son later when... I mean... He's way worse.
Yeah, that's the thing. One of the worst things Saddam did to, like, at least the people in his immediate area was allow his son to walk free. Yeah. Because fuck me, that man was a psycho.
Yeah. Well, because if you look at the difference between him and his son, right? He killed... Well, I'm talking about Saddam. He killed for sort of political reasons, right? So he wanted to stay in power. His son killed for fun, which makes it so much worse.
Yeah. Luckily, his son got hit with an assassination attempt at one point, which actually crippled his ability to walk. So...
And then somebody looked him in the eyes and he shot them.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, he likes doing that.
He liked because he died in 2000.
He did die in 2000.
Anyway, go on with your script because I can talk about the other guy so much.
Oh, we will at some point, I'm sure. But let's so. Saddam does a lot of good things whilst he's the vice chair of the Ba'athist Party and not the dictator yet. As soon as he becomes dictator, a lot of that shit goes out the window. Like, it's like, okay, now that I'm in power, you still have to go to school, but, I'm not going to put any funding into it. I'm going to use all our money for the Iran-Iraq War.
Yeah.
One of the most expensive and most pointless fucking conflict ever. It bankrupted basically 2 countries in the area, and they still haven't really recovered.
1.3 million people died in that war.
Yes. Lots of people died in the Iran-Iraq War. Mostly in... The weird thing was, it was kind of similar to World War I. In the fact that there was long trench lines, no one moved very far, lots of people died, and there was a shitload of mustard gas.
Which is illegal.
Yes.
Of Geneva Convention, right?
Yes, it was made illegal after the First World War for this very fucking reason, because mustard gas is fucked. It's really not fun.
I mean, war is not fun, Billy. Let's just get out of the way,
No, it's not.
right?
But mustard gas in particular is really nasty. There was actually a famous, this is in the 80s, so like the camera quality is a bit shit, but you can find it somewhere, of some Iraqi army guys, I think, was it Iraqi or Iranian? I can't remember which side, but they were disarming a unexploded mustard gas shell, and it just goes off on their face. Like, they're not even wearing protective equipment, really. They're just like, hey, check this out. We can take this thing apart. And like, yeah, everyone, including the cameramen, had to go to hospital with like blisters and horrifying third-degree chemical.
It burns worse than pepper spray, right?
Oh, way worse than pepper spray. Yeah, I mean, pepper spray is not technically illegal, I don't think. But
no, it's illegal to own as a civilian.
As a civilian, yeah, but it's not like a war crime to necessarily use pepper spray. It's like crowd control.
You still get jail, I think.
Oh yeah, if they still don't like it.
You remember when we had a period down here when it got really bad with people in the gardens, right? And whilst they were working through the parks, and I found
what did you find?
A pepper spray just randomly on the street. And
oh,
I'm
really?
Like, I should give this back to the police, but before doing that, I should give it to my wife to hold on to it for protection from me, like. And it was really hard to find that on the street.
And you're like, you saw it on the street and was like, perfect. It's my anniversary.
I should keep it safe and give it to the police at some point.
Did you remember?
Yeah, of course I did.
Of course
give it to the police.
Yeah, good. So there was a lot of police on site there, so it'd be really irresponsible if you didn't give it to the police.
Yeah.
Can you make one podcast without like admitting to a crime?
I did not do any crimes. It went in the
handling illegal materials. That's up to 2 years. And I'm joking.
I gave it back.
Tell that to the guy who stole the crown jewels.
Did they still not?
No. I think they found that guy. I can't remember.
Okay, moving on.
So during the Iran-Iraq War, Saddam's insanity really sort of took hold of him from that point forward. There's a place called there's a large area of marshland in Iraq where a certain subsect of Arabs live. Like, they're called the Marsh Arabs. Saddam thought, of course, that they were working with the Iranians, so he immediately drained the marshes, which have been nicknamed. They've been hypothesized as the Garden of Eden. Like, they're like a religious site. And he just drained the fucking things. Because when he tried to invade them normally, the guys inside electrified the marsh. So they put,
That's actually really smart.
Very fucking clever. Killed a whole bunch of his soldiers, so it's like, right, okay, we're going to drain the marsh, and then we're going to invade. So he did. He killed thousands and thousands of people. Just for the paranoid delusion that they were going to turn on him. And of course, after that, the survivors turned on him, surprisingly.
I mean, give them a reason, right?
Yeah, literally, you drained our marsh and then shot everybody. It's like literally our ancestral sacred homeland, and you just destroyed it for, lols.
Instead of actually negotiate, I think if you would have went up to them and be like, okay, let's just talk about this.
Yeah, that wasn't Saddam's way. In fact, fun fact about his diplomacy. One time, one of his longtime advisors, a guy who'd been with him basically since he joined the government, suggested that because the Iran-Iraq war, one of the Iran's demands was that Saddam leave power in Iraq. So this guy said, hey, why don't we pull a fast one, right? We're going to make you the prime minister. You'll no longer be the president of Iraq. You'll be the prime minister, and we'll put a puppet in place. So that way, the Iranians think that you're gone and you're depowered or whatever. They'll fuck off and give us some territory back and whatever. Saddam just pulled out a gun and shot him right in the face, just for suggesting that.
I mean, that sounded like a power play. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it did sound like a power play. You're starting to think like a Husseinian.
I'm just saying.
Apparently, he cried at the man's funeral later that day. He just shot the man. He just shot the guy and then cried at his funeral later in the day.
That was for appearances.
Apparently,
that was a rogue bullet. It came out of the gun by itself whilst it was holstered. I had nothing to do with that gun. I've never seen that gun in my life.
The thing is, a lot of dictators, they don't, when we say, Pol Pot killed thousands and thousands of people. It's technically true. He was in charge, but he didn't, do it himself. He had his goons do it. He had, the Santa Bol or whatever their name was, the secret police do it. Saddam didn't like doing that. If there was, an officer in the army who'd, performed poorly, in his mind, he would call them to his office for a discussion. And if he thought that, no, you're not really sorry enough, he would just shoot you. So
no, because it's as a manager, I understand where he's coming from, right? If you're not willing to do the dirty jobs, you can't expect anybody around you to do the dirty jobs for you. You know,
lead by example. Be the leader that you aspire to be. Shoot people in the face. No,
don't do that.
So you're saying, as an assistant, as a assistant manager, it's really
it's down to me to.
It's down to you to shoot.
Yeah, I can't expect my staff to do it for me.
That's fair. Is that how you treat the customers as well? This one has displeased me. Shoot him. Bring my customized engraved China pistol.
Yeah, no, not doing that in restaurants anymore.
Sadly, what does our world come to? We've talked about the gas attacks and his unconventional methods of warfare, but here's probably the most unconventional one. And you said that this wasn't going to be in this episode. This is how wrong you are. Saddam used an entire cadre of wizards. These wizards' job was to predict the future and to do soothsayings about upcoming attacks. Now,
okay, where did he get the wizards from?
Well, you see,
because if they're Etsy wizards, they don't work that well. Been there, tried that.
Well, in the Middle East, there's quite a large sort of subculture. It's like an underground thing because it's technically haram. It's against Islam to be doing this kind of shit.
Yeah.
But there's still the old sort of voodoo-ish, witch doctor-y kind of practices there. They're kind of underground, but there's guys who do them,
Okay.
All of these people are insane and all of them are fraudsters for the most part, but Saddam believed in them. He thought unholy magic was the way forward to make sure that he won this war.
So there's this new game, right, that came out. Well, it's not a game, it's a sort of a board game. It's a sort of Warhammer-y kind of thing. It's called Strange Crusaders.
Mm-hmm.
The plot is that somewhere in the Middle East, Templars in the Middle East open a gate to hell, and now we're as a humankind fighting the hordes of hell, right?
Yeah.
And they have factions and whatever. So all this Middle Eastern wizards just reminded me of Strange Crusaders. It's exactly like the game. It's you get wizards from the Middle East fighting because they're one of the strongest factions in the game. It's from the Middle East and they have this wall that God created and nobody can destroy it, right?
Fair enough.
And they're technically Muslim in the game to a certain degree because
it's like these guys, they're Muslim to a certain degree.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
yeah, so that's the thing. Saddam was a very, very
he was
pious...
playing Strange Crusaders before he got popular. It only came out a few years back, but
Strange Crusaders, Jesus Christ. I mean, he was against Iran, yeah.
So he's yeah.
Yeah. I'm just imagining Saddam like bashing his keyboards, like fucking hacking. These Iranians just won't die.
Oh no, it's a board game. You have to paint miniatures.
Oh.
So imagine him painting his miniatures then.
He'd probably get really into that, actually. Imagine if like all of that bloodshed could be avoided if he just like read a 40k book and started doing the miniatures.
Yeah.
I mean,
he would have been so much chill.
Yeah, maybe he would have read the Horus Heresy and understood the underlying point that trying to prevent yourself from being like cooed eventually turns you into a monster, you know? That's what happened to the Emperor, right?
No.
Whatever, I can't remember the Horus. It was a long time ago, all right?
I thought you wanted me to explain the Horus Heresy right now, but okay.
I mean, do we have 17 hours? I mean, it's a long series of books, man.
Simply put, the Emperor of Mankind, the God, the man, the legend, Henry Cavill. Oh no. He's not gonna play that character.
He should.
No, he's gonna play even better character. Okay. It's after that whole. Anyway, so the idea was right that the Emperor himself had a gate to technically hell.
Yeah.
That he was trying to keep together, and
warp, right?
The warp, yeah. So one of his followers was like, "Oh, you're about to get betrayed. Let me teleport." To Earth, and by teleporting himself to Earth, opened the gate and
monsters, Xenos, everything.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Long live Slanesh, you know. Yeah, basically, yeah.
No, not Slanesh.
What are you, a Nurgle guy? Come on.
No, I am for the Emperor. Fucking heretic. Fucking heretic.
Dark Eldar for life.
No, salamanders for life.
So yeah, wizards.
Okay, this is sorry.
Saddam Hussein was trying to channel the warp. Okay, that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to invoke the spirit of Khorne. He was trying to get the blessings of Nurgle. None of this worked, of course. So a whole fucking lot of these guys ended up getting shot.
I mean, good.
Yeah, one less grifter in the house, right?
Yeah. Did everybody flavor?
It's quite funny. When the Americans finally invaded in 2003, he asked like his group of soothsayers, like they still had left, what to do. They basically said, look, there's no fucking chance of you winning this. We predict that you're going to be, deposed in this year, 2003. He had them all shot and like had all of this like mystics kicked out of the country, whilst the Americans were on their way. Basically,
they didn't want to give away his secrets.
He didn't want us like capturing like the secrets of the warp. He did not.
So he had to exile them so they can come back. Because actually, he's the emperor. You don't realize. No, just stop, Andre. Stop.
The funny thing is, where they ended up after he exiled them? America!
Did they?
Yeah, a bunch of them did. In fact, I've actually got like a little story that I've pulled up. This was made in 2000. This is a Los Angeles Times piece that was released in 2003, before they captured Saddam. So after the invasion and before Saddam had been captured. So they decided to go and find all of his old like wizards that were living in California and ask if they could predict where he was.
Who did that? The American government?
The LA Times.
Oh, the LA Times. Well, I was thinking the American government, they were like, oh, can we get his really good wizards that didn't help him at all?
Didn't fucking help, yeah.
Yeah, to actually predict where he is.
That made him lose two wars before this and then another one.
Yeah, we need those wizards, It's as important as when they got the Germans and they made...
Oh, like the Nazi paper... Yeah, it's like the Operation Paperclip thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just make Nazis be in charge of Russia. NASA.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Don't look up Werner von Braun, fucked up guy. But speaking of fucked up dudes, they found a whole bunch of these guys of various sort of like ages, and one of them was speaking to the dead through his son, who was like 7. Apparently he uses him as a conduit or something.
Follow-up question. How was he using him?
Like with his like hand on his head or something.
Okay, thank fuck.
No, it wasn't. Oh god, it wasn't that bad. Christ. He's just like involved in occult rituals. It's not anything bad. So one of them he found, the reporter from this article found just beating the shit out of his wife with a length of hose. So he was just, and then complaining about why his wife doesn't like him anymore.
Well, the thing is, you can't use the things from home in a foreign country. It doesn't work the same way. You gave her the taste of the outside, man.
I mean, they were in LA, so yeah. I mean, it's decadence everywhere. Yeah, but he didn't blame the decadent West for corrupting his wife into not liking him. He blamed Jewish spirits.
I hate Jewish friends when they come around, man. It's so hard.
I mean, have you ever drank any Israeli alcohol? It's fucking awful. But no, that was what the rubber hose was for. Was for beating the Jewish spirits that were making his wife not like him. If you the mindset of these people is kind of interesting and questionable. But these were just sort of like some of the guys who were loosely affiliated with Hussein's government. The actual guy who was his personal one. Said that once he was thrown in prison for 6 months because Saddam's leg was hurting.
Yeah.
Because Saddam said, my wife is casting a spell on me and you're not protecting me adequately enough. 6 months in prison for you. Eventually he was forgiven.
Because his leg stopped hurting, probably.
Yes, because his leg stopped hurting, yeah.
So the magic in prison was more stronger. So basically the prison was like a conduit that amplified his powers.
Yes.
So he should have left him in prison.
Yes, he really should have. I don't know why he didn't. Maybe he would have still been in power today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's his fatal mistake, not being an absolute psychopath.
Yeah. So the one wizard that they spoke to, who refused to give his name, I should point out. So that's why I'm not referring to him by name. He refused to give his name because...
No, because he wants to keep his identity secret, man. Because if everybody gets the power, there's nobody has power, right?
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, a lot of people are already paying him very good money under the table for his services. He said that he tried to counsel Saddam against the war, but quite vaguely, basically. Instead of challenging America, he should have, just sort of backed off and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he didn't listen to him, probably because, and this is true, he was asking for his prediction of how the war would go for $100 million US.
As in, he got paid $100 million?
No, as in he took that request to Saddam's other son, Qusay, and Qusay laughed at him and told him to fuck off, because they don't have $100 million US lying around. They spent it all on tanks and shit.
Which don't properly work.
Which don't work against the American army, who has better tanks, yeah. And, it's the Americans in the 2000s. You're not going to stop that shit, man, Everybody, I can to imagine all these wizards are just like, wait, who talked to him? Which one of you fucks gave him the prediction that this was a good idea? He's starting a fight with the Americans. This isn't going to go well, Well,
I don't think they cared, to be honest with you.
Well, I think they cared about not dying. That's why they fled to the fucking States.
I mean, yeah, when they ran away, yeah.
It's quite funny because the end of this LA Times article, one of said wizards was asked to find out where Saddam was hiding. He gave a spot that was actually not too far off. It turned out he was about 50 miles north of where the guy predicted, but
well, no, he had no clue. He was just guessing where his hiding places were.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was guessing. Fun fact though, weirdly, Saddam's hiding spot was actually only 10 miles away from where he was born, in his hometown of Tikrit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's an ancient city, and he grew up as a poor peasant farmer there. So he just, I guess he knew where all the holes were, all the holes to hide in.
Yeah, that footage was insane, right? When they dig them up.
Yeah, stuck the bag on his head, He looked like shit when he got out of that hole, man. I mean, how long was he was in there? A month, 2 months?
Well, if you run away for so long, you hasn't been washed in fucking 2 months.
Yeah, he must have stank down there, dude. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and sitting in his feces and
and all he was doing was eating Pop Rocks and drinking Coke. So he must have been so gassy. Oh. It must have been a fart collection box down there.
Oh.
And he's lying in that position. You can't move to get away from the smell. It's just constant. Just slow release of... Yeah, anyway.
Can you move on, please?
Well, talking about things coming out of pipes really fast, what do you know about super guns?
Super guns?
Yes.
Not much. I'm just willing to... I want to see where you're going with this.
Okay, so super guns were kind of a thing that Nazi Germany liked to do a lot. Railway guns, big old cannons on the backs of railways.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted one that could fire across the channel and hit England, which is, a good idea, but pretty fucking stupid when you think about it, because...
I mean, you just had to bring it to France, right?
Yeah, you just take it to Calais or whatever. Small problem, by that point we'd kind of taken Calais back by the time they got it ready, so they couldn't really reach. But Saddam Hussein, not to be outdone by a bunch of Germans in the 40s, thought this was a great idea. And he also wanted a space program, shall we say, to make Iraq look big and important on the world stage.
Okay.
Yeah, what he really wanted was someone to come give him a device to deliver nukes, basically. Because that's what everyone wanted a space program for in the 80s.
Just a platform up there.
Yeah, just can I have some rocket engineers? Can I have some guys who are really good at making things go very fast into the sky? and then maybe coming down, maybe.
You know, the problem with that, right? If you look at it, let's say you manage to create a platform in space, like the space station. Has the capabilities to hold nuclear weaponry on it, right? The thing with the rockets we have nowadays, I feel like somebody flips a coin and it's like it's gonna explode. It's not gonna explode on the ground, right?
Because Elon's in charge of it all.
Not just that, just in general, the rockets, they're not as 100% safe, right? Imagine you built your station. You manned your station. Everything went well. You get super fucking comfortable with the fact that you manned and you built the station. And you're like, you know what? Let's put some rockets up there that we can launch to all the countries we want to attack. Here's a hypothetical. Let's say this is the one time the rocket wants to explode, and you just put a whole bunch of payloads of nuclear material on this rocket that needs to go up to bring it to your station so you can arm the station, and it explodes on the ground.
That's not good.
So
if it just like pulls an Elon Musk and just goes and just explodes.
And then you just nuked yourself. Not just that you nuked yourself, because you're not going to probably bring material for one rocket, you're going to bring material for 10 or 20 or 30.
Yeah,
right?
And the thing is, it wouldn't be like a nuclear explosion classic because it wouldn't be primed properly, but what it would do is catapult shitloads of nuclear dust everywhere. So everyone just dies of cancer.
Yeah. So you just destroyed your whole country.
Yeah, and like also salted the earth so nothing will grow there again.
Yeah.
Wow,
so I'm saying it's a stupid idea. Like,
it's a really fucking stupid idea when you think about it. But Saddam had a different plan. He did have missiles, but they weren't really nuclear capable missiles, or they weren't really space rockets. They weren't ICBMs. They couldn't hit the States. They couldn't hit anything else really. They could fire a decent distance, but they weren't what he was looking for. In comes a Canadian guy by the name of Gerald Bull. He fucking loves cannons. That's basically all you need to know about this guy. He was an engineer and he loved making cannons. He made cannons since he was like a little kid, and he would just he loved longer, larger, and heavier cannons. He liked firing things out of other things. That was his deal.
Okay.
So
the way you phrase that, dude, your choice of wording.
It's true, though. He was a very, very strange guy in his own right. But Saddam wanted to fire nukes at Iran, and he wanted to fire nukes at Israel. So he finds this guy, this sort of weird, disgraced weapons expert who was like kicked out of America and exiled from Canada for doing dodgy arms dealing.
Okay.
Just because he wanted to build a really big cannon. And he proposes to Saddam with an idea. I'm going to build you a really fuck-off big gun that can shoot satellites into space. And Saddam went like, yeah, satellites into space. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Dude, but here's the thing.
Physics doesn't really work that way. Okay, yes, I know.
Because you need a big explosion in order to shut the cannon. If you have a big explosion, all the material that are the thing that you shoot, wouldn't it just be ruined by the time it hits space?
Yeah, satellites are really fucking fragile things. You cannot just explode them out of a tube, The point of the rocket is like the top is really far away from the bottom, so it doesn't get burned up in the rocket fuel, None of these were taken into consideration. They started working together for quite a long time in the 80s during the Iran-Iraq War. Why did he do this? Well, basically because Saddam liked him. He just thought he was cool. He just liked the guy's drive and determination to build a really fucking big cannon. So they got them in.
Your choice of wording still is like... he really liked his big idea for a big gun and his drive and his determination.
It's not my fault you didn't jerk off before this episode, all right?
Fuck off, man.
You're the one who keeps hearing big cannons and thinking of other things. So, in order to erect this big cannon...
Fuck you. Just fuck you. It's not just me this time. Fuck you.
In order to create this giant thing, he hired Gerald Bull in to work on his space program, and he started a thing called Project Babylon. Yeah, I know. Ali G has sort of ruined that word.
Go on, please.
They're big Babylons. So he started on he made a small prototype first, just as like a proof of concept, just to show that his idea would work. It was a 35 centimeter bore, so 35 centimeter projectile across. It was 102 tons. It was 46 meters long. That was called the Baby Babylon, and that was like built with stuff that they had, locally, basically.
Okay.
You can still see it now, and it's in a museum in Iraq, I think. But there's basically a giant fucking... It looks like a giant length of drain pipe, all sort of stuck together.
Okay.
But it's also leaning on the side of a hill, which is how they tested it. So
so you just left it there because they're like, this is a stupid idea anyway.
Yeah, it was a fucking stupid idea, and they just kind of left it there. But the actual pipe still survives. It's fucking huge. Like, you can imagine if this was used as like a giant mortar, it could really fuck some shit up. And it did fire quite well, but it wasn't going to achieve the velocities that you need for space, you know?
Yeah.
So
you kind of need to point it upwards, not on the hill, in order for it to go into...
It was up at a 45-degree angle, right?
Okay.
Like, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it does, but still 45 is not
No, not
up.
the correct angle, no.
No, it's not.
That's how they kind of, knew it wasn't going to be used for space. It was to lob things, it was to fire things over borders. So in order to create the big one, the big Babylon, which was designed to be a 1 meter bore, so 1 meter projectiles being fired out of this thing, 1 meter's wide, that's pretty fucking big.
The girth of it.
Yeah, just raw girth.
Sorry.
It was 152 meters long, and it weighed 21...
152 meters long.
Yep, 3 times longer than the other one.
So that's, just to put it into perspective, that's one soccer field and a half.
Yes.
I call it soccer now because it really annoys people.
You prick. It annoys people who care about football. Luckily, I do not. So,
but I know a lot of people so it's soccer now for me.
That's great.
So it's a field and a half of soccer, man.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous, man. It's like they because it was so big, obviously they couldn't make it in one piece, right? Did I mention it was 2,100 tons, and when it was going to be suspended by cranes, it would be 300 meters high. So,
why would they have to be 300 meters high?
Because that's the way they would angle it with the crane setup. The cranes would have to be above it, so it's like higher then.
So it chains that wiggle when you move.
Yeah.
So it's unstable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not even an engineer, dude, and I just see the flaws in this.
You really can't you? So there's actually pieces of this cannon on display at the British Imperial War Museum.
Dude, you stopped colonism. You stopped imperialism. Why are you still stealing shit?
Well, we actually had good reason to steal this shit.
Why? Tell me a good reason. Can you stop stealing stuff?
Okay, so the Iraqi government didn't have like the industrialization or the materials to really make this thing. Like they could.
So they weren't a viable colony, you're telling me?
Well, from Gerald Bull's perspective, to make his cannon, he needed better material, better steel, and bigger places to build it. Right?
Okay.
So he got them manufactured in Sheffield.
Shut up.
Yeah, he said, right, I want an oil pipeline, in massive inverted commas. I want an oil pipeline that can take these tolerances, please. And if you look at the tolerances and go, wait, you're only putting gas and oil through this thing, right? You don't need it to be inches thick and capable of withstanding an explosion of this strength. But they made it, and
work is work.
Work's work for the British defense industry, man. But eventually someone tipped off MI6, so they got it impounded at customs as he was trying to ship the parts to Iraq.
Okay, so you didn't steal it. You made it. Fine.
Well, we intercepted it at customs.
Fine.
So
you didn't steal
it
this time. I was so cross already with this.
But yeah, so this thing's fucking gigantic. Like literally, like you can walk inside it relatively comfortably. It's like, you could like crouch, stoop down, and just walk through it.
It's a meter wide.
Yeah, you can stoop down quite easily to that height and just sort of like slope through it. It's on display at the Imperial War Museum, and that was like one of like I think it was supposed to be like 15 sections, so it's really fucking long.
That's another problem, right? If you do make it out of sections, the thing is, like barrels of guns are solid pieces.
Yeah, stress.
Yeah, so that's another bad idea. Then you have something that is not solid, that wobbles
on chains.
Because you imagine shooting that and the recoil on it will topple your cranes.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's such a large explosion. Again, not an engineer, but if I can see the problems in this.
Yeah, Gerald Bull wasn't a good engineer, but
well, why did they hire him?
Because he was just crazy enough to do it. That's why. And also he was like blacklisted from, arms smuggling.
I wonder why.
Yeah, well, he kept making giant cannons for people. That was his only life passion, apparently. So yeah, the MI6 basically put a cap on that when they impounded half of the parts that were coming out of Britain.
Yeah.
And Israel then put the final nail in the coffin by shooting Gerald Bull in the back of the head. So,
I mean,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Let's just put it this way. They knew where he lived. They capped him in his own flat, and they didn't even take the 20 grand that he had in his briefcase at the time. Could have been, just a botched robbery.
Man, just steal the money.
I know, right? Like, if I'm an assassin, even if I'm getting, like, good money from the Israeli government,
it's 20 grand, man.
That's 20 fucking grand.
That's a deposit on a flat.
Yeah, that's like, a nice little nest egg for retirement when you can't be an assassin anymore, you know?
Because you can only be an assassin till, like, your late 40s.
Yeah, at best, you know?
And then you have to be done.
Yeah, you got to, like, have a retirement plan. Otherwise, someone's going to assassinate you, you know?
You don't want to crouch at fucking 50 years old. It's going to ruin your...
Yeah, you can't go on GoFundMe and say, I'm a retired assassin and I am in need of funds because my government does not pay adequate pensions. Like, no one's going to give a shit. No. Like, you're going to have to pretend to be a little girl with cancer or something.
They probably are.
Oh God, let's not think about that.
Moving on.
Next podcast. How many of these things are faked? Okay, so the giant cannon plan didn't really work out for Saddam. Obviously, he lost his good guy. Like, he lost his, like, contact. Good guy, yeah. The guy who was making him waste shitloads of money on a cannon.
I'm super happy that all these dictators, they never hired the right people.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you had uncontrolled power and you were actually good
at running things.
Yeah.
Well, then you become, Kemal Ataturk, or you become like some, Suleiman the Magnificent. You become one of those legendary emperors, and then your sons inevitably fuck it up because they got raised spoiled.
Yeah,
that's always what happens with these things.
Well, you just take your sons and you send them to an all boys school in the UK.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna. I'm just like,
they're gonna become really weird.
You might as well be just like pushing them into like a box that says trauma and just like,
hey, listen, trauma builds us stronger, Billy. Trauma builds us stronger.
No, it doesn't. It just breaks you in various ways. Speaking of things that are going to be traumatic for you, though, Andre.
Oh, fuck's sake.
What would you think the most unexpected thing you could find out about Saddam Hussein was today? Besides the wizards.
That he liked cock.
That has not been confirmed, actually. Saddam himself was apparently quite a pious man in terms of he didn't like sex very much. He wasn't a sex guy.
Oh.
He had a fair few kids with his, weird cousin wife, but he did he wasn't
second wife because he had a second wife.
And he did allegedly. No one's quite sure.
No, he did have a second wife.
They're not sure if they were legally married in the eyes of Islam or not.
Probably not in the eyes of Islam because he can't. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah. Yeah, he, funnily enough, wasn't like a big partier guy. He wasn't like the Shah of Iran or whatever. He didn't have orgies and stuff. That just wasn't his style. It was his son's thing, not his. But
I wanted to say that.
But did you know that in the later part of his life, in around the year 2000, Saddam Hussein released a series of 4 romance novels that were bestsellers and sold over 1 million copies.
Wait, were they bestsellers because they were actually good, or they were bestsellers because he forced everybody to buy them like they did with the Bible, and as they did with all the Bibles, you can never imagine.
Oh, speaking of Bibles, did you know at one point Saddam commissioned a Quran to be written, a full Quran to be written in his own blood?
Oh, that's fucking cool.
It's pretty fucking badass, right?
It's fucking cool.
They worked it out. You'd have to give up 50 pints of blood to write the entire Quran.
That's fine, because you can technically give a pint of blood every 3 months. It took me 2 to do 10.
I love watching you work this out.
Oh, it takes you 30 years to actually
About that, yeah, that's what they estimated it. So obviously it was never completed. And obviously, writing in your own blood, writing the Holy Scripture in your own blood is haram. But he still commissioned they do it anyway and shot people who told him it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
But after he decided to have that book commissioned, he decided to start writing himself. And so he released a series of 4 romance novels. When you ask, did he, put his face on it and make everyone buy them? No, he didn't. The first one, at least, was, released anonymously.
Okay.
But it was kind of like an open secret, so it eventually leaked out and became like a rumor that it was actually Saddam himself who had written this.
Okay.
It's a romance novel set in the 7th to 8th century in his hometown of Tikrit. He's a massive nerd for 7 to 8 golden age of Islam history.
Yeah, I'm just thinking what happened in 7th and 8th century.
Oh, it was the golden age of Islam, dude. Like the Baghdad House of Wisdom and shit. It was great kings and emperors and caliphates and, lots of knowledge and writing being passed around.
Yeah, before they fucked it up.
Before it all went to shit and the Crusades and whatever. Yeah, everything always goes to shit eventually. the first one was called Zabiba and the King, and I've not been able
Was
to.
Zabiba his dog?
No, Zabiba is the name of a young lady who the king.
He didn't get my joke. Never mind.
What was the joke?
Because, he's... Never mind.
Okay. So yeah, Zabiba is a young commoner girl who befriends the king. She's in an arranged marriage with an abusive husband, which is like an allegory for the United States. He's like a drunk who like beats her and rapes her and things. So like, and King Ahab is the... I always think of Captain Ahab, but it's like King Ahab in this book. I don't know why he's called Ahab. He rescues the girl, gets revenge for all the crimes that were done onto her, and dies nobly in a fight to the death with her husband. Basically, everyone who's read it said that it's a metaphor. It's an allegory for the United States invading Iraq in 1991. Basically,
so the man, he was so bitter he wrote the book about it.
He was so pissed off that he lost that war and then told everybody that he won that war, and then he had to put down a bunch of riots and dissent after that he wrote an entire allegorical romance novel. He wrote fan fiction about himself and the United States.
Did he actually make money off of this?
It sold 1 million copies.
Oh, shut up.
By itself, yeah. Like, it was a very popular book. And... Of course, like everyone's saying, did he actually write it? He obviously like paid some ghostwriter to do it. That was what the CIA thought when they heard about this and probably laughed their asses off.
Well, they probably did pay a ghostwriter.
No, they don't think he did. Like looking at the text in like the original Arabic, because like when you translate it, you clear up a lot of like snafus and like spelling errors and like grammar errors and stuff.
Okay.
But in the original Arabic, people looked at it and went, no, this wasn't written by like a ghostwriter. He makes mistakes that a ghostwriter wouldn't have made. Like little sloppy, unprofessional sort of turns of phrase that a ghostwriter would never use.
Okay, so that means he actually wrote it himself.
He probably wrote it himself, yeah. We will never know for sure the guy's dead, but, it's more than likely that he did.
They should have found that out before they killed him.
I know, right? They should have said, okay, this book, did you actually fucking write this?
This is your one chance to escape the death penalty. And he's like, yes, I did write it. Psych.
We just wanted to know. Also, can I have the copy of the sequel? I got a book movie deal.
He wrote 4, right? So
he wrote 4, yes. The last one, he was still writing the last one, I think, right into the lead up to the invasion, like till 2003. It wasn't published until after he was dead, but the last one was released in like 2005.
Whoa, wow.
So it was like he'd been sitting on like treasure troves of his writing for ages. I was trying to find like excerpts of this book so I could like do a dramatic reading of it, but it's actually difficult to find like English quotations from it. So what I might actually do, if people are interested enough, I might do a dramatic reading of it if I could buy the first book.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I'm going to be on a list for buying it, but fuck it, it's worth it for the bit. Did I mention this book is 700 pages long?
Wow, so he had a lot of free time between all the killings and
he really did
and the stuff.
He really did. In between like putting down riots and like shooting officers in the face, he had a lot of time for writing and his personal projects.
You think he did a 9 to 5 every day? He's like, all right, I'll stop killing people at 5.
Yeah, stop killing people at 5. Then I'll write until 8. I'll have a bath. I'll wash. I'll eat my meal. I'll go to sleep. Do it all again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fresh killing at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you would like to hear me like read like a 713 page novel, a romance novel set in like 8th century Iraq, please let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe.
Wow.
The thing is, people said the book was pretty good, like in terms of like a sort of pastiche on classical literature from like the Middle East. Apparently it's actually pretty good, pretty well written. It's like almost believable.
I'm kind of curious, but at the same time I can't differentiate the art from the artist.
Speaking of which, would you like to see the cover of this for the English edition? I have it here.
Okay.
I'm just turning the screen around. That's the cover. You can see why I'm hesitant to buy this.
You'll definitely go to jail.
Yeah, I'd probably deserve to.
Especially nowadays that they kind of looking for reasons to put people in jail.
Yeah, literally.
For no reason.
This would be like... Imagine if I got caught like up in some Palestine action stuff and like this was found in my house.
All of a sudden, say bye, Billy. I'll come and visit you. I promise.
Thanks, dude. I really appreciate.
I'll bring you some fags. Make sure your grass is safe.
Oh, thank you. Can you bring me some weed?
No, because then I'll join you.
No,
that's not how that works.
Well, do we want to end this on a positive note, Andre? But no, we've got a few minutes left. But do you want to have a little chat about?
Should I do it? Okay.
Should we talk about the suns?
We talk about the sun. Well, I talk about the first sun.
Yeah,
I didn't look up the other suns. I talked the first one because the first one is
a fucking lunatic. So, Andre's you've got your list up.
Yeah, of course. People would not know this, but it took me a minute.
Yeah, if there wasn't a content warning for like this whole episode already,
just stop listening now. If you get triggered about mass psychopaths, just move away now.
Yeah, it's gonna get bad from here on out, guys. Because this guy he made his dad look normal.
Yeah. So his first son, which his name was Uday. So the way he was raised was he was so spoiled, and because he was the first son, and he always knew he's gonna inherit the kingdom, and so that put him on this megalomaniac sort of psychopathic path, right?
Yeah.
His whole life was super psychopathic path, where every time he did something bad, his mother tried to protect him from his father. And so he always got away with it. So psychologically, he got fucked. He was like, I can't do anything wrong. Worst thing that can happen to me, maybe I'm not gonna leave the house for a little bit.
Yeah.
But just to give you 10 reasons to really fucking hate this guy, right?
God, yeah.
The year is 1983. This is called The Murder Over a Dance.
Oh, yeah, this one's good.
Uday beat an army officer to death after the man refused to let him dance with his wife at a social gathering. Well, why didn't he just let him have a dance with his wife? Because he would kidnap women from their old weddings and rape them and then kill them.
Yes.
Because that's what he loved to do, okay?
He really loved doing that shit. In fact, he did. It was his favorite thing to do.
It was his favorite thing to do. So everybody were hiding their girls as soon as he came to town. Or they knew he's driving off. Everybody got out of his way because they knew if I have a female present, something's going to happen.
Some shit's going to go down.
If he catches his eye, that's it. She's gone. Well, did you know he really loves the Olympics? And he really likes his athletes.
Yes. That was his job. I think
so
he
was appointed the head of the Iraqi Olympic Committee.
Yes.
And also he had like 1 million plaques giving him 1 million titles. That he was so good at training these athletes.
Yeah.
So one story, I'm not going to go in all the stories because there are hundreds of stories.
There's so many, Dan.
So one of the stories, this goalkeeper missed
saving the goal.
So what did he do? Went up to him and said, if you miss one more, I will break your arm so you can never play. The one time when the Iraqi team didn't qualify for the
Olympics,
whatever,
for the World Cup,
for
or
the
some
whatever
shit.
crap, they didn't qualify. He took all the little men in the basement and beat them with a hose on the bottom of their feet so they can't walk anymore.
Yes, he did that with a lot of athletes too, of the Olympic athletes. He used to line them up and beat them on the feet until they couldn't walk, which seems counterproductive to me, but things make sense in this guy's mind. Didn't he go to school for architecture?
I actually don't know because I didn't want to look too much in his life because fuck him.
He was apparently very intelligent and very good student. The problem was he was just a fucking mentalist.
He would just explode. And
he would just rage out and like shoot people.
Oh, here's another story. This is 1988, right? So we're moving sort of through history. In front of a guest of state that he had on a party, Uday brutally killed his father's personal valet, Kamel Ham Giorgio.
I wouldn't try
with an electric carving knife.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was it like one of the ones that goes around like a chainsaw, or was it one of the guys that goes back and forth?
Back and forth.
Ooh, that's even worse. Oh, that's somehow worse.
So Uday was briefly imprisoned and exiled to Switzerland, but returned within months. You know why he returned within months? He found an illegal gun. He bought an illegal gun while in Switzerland, and he went in a brawl in a nightclub and shot someone. So Switzerland's like, we don't want him. Have him back.
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
if Switzerland doesn't want you, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that one.
In 1990, as a commander of the Fighting Saddam, which is some sort of fucking shit, he overseen the torture of every prisoner of war.
Yeah, literally all of them.
So he took a lot of pleasure. We're talking drilling into skulls, public executions, tongue removals.
Yep.
All of it.
He went full on medieval on people in a way that Saddam never did. Saddam was never a torture guy. He was just a straight up kill you guy. But he let his son get away with so much of this shit. So maybe Saddam was kind of a torture guy after all.
Did you know? He was so good at training people, right? He was so good at training people.
Athletes, right?
He formed his own militia, the Fundai Sudan, which we talked about earlier, which was basically his own army within of Iraq.
He had his own goon squad.
So if you look them up, they literally look like the Dark Vader, all of them. They have the same helmets, the same sort of black robes.
Oh, in Iraq, that's amazing.
Yeah, so the thing is, they kidnap people, they mutilate people, if you looked the wrong way in their direction, they will just kill you. Oh, on top of that, they were in charge of protecting everybody around. So if you would drive between cities and they found you, they'll probably just rob you.
Yeah, they used to love doing that
because they just like. So
they did all this without Uday being present as well. They just sort of kept going on when he had like official duties. They just keep going, and he would just rejoin.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, hey guys, what are we doing today? Oh, you started that. Oh, I'm coming.
I'm coming with.
I'm coming as well.
Hey, Uday.
Anyway, the last on the list, just I had another brief look now. It's just rape, wedding, rape, wedding, rape.
Oh God.
So
wait, are you saying rape, wedding, or wedding rape?
Well, no. They did their wedding, and then
he stole them
and then raped them.
Okay, right. So yeah.
The idea is the man was so unhinged, so unbothered. He was such an absolute maniac. If I would have been his father, I'm gonna have to say it. I would have had to put him down because you can't. But one of the main reasons his dad just left him be was because fear is a very good motivator for anybody to do anything. Yeah. And also it kind of deflected all the guilt that Saddam Hussein, he wouldn't have gotten all the guilt. Yeah. As in, it's not Saddam Hussein, it's his son's fault.
Yeah.
He was like, it's okay. Yeah. just let him take a fall.
I'll be honest. Like Uday's like story is just like a long cavalcade of fucking horrors. But eventually, someone got his own back on him by shooting him in the back.
Well, no. When he died, right? He was
no. This is before he died. This is in 1996.
So yeah.
He gets basically he gets a bullet lodged in his spine after an assassination attempt. It doesn't kill him, but it does paralyze his leg partially from the waist down, and apparently made it so that his dick didn't work anymore. So good. There are some people who say that wasn't true, but
that didn't stop him, though.
No, it made him more crazy. He killed more people after that.
Well, the way he died, which everybody it was in
No, this is the best part, dude.
Okay.
Best part. When he was like lying in hospital after being shot in the back, his father came in and didn't express any sympathy and said, it's probably karma for all that shit you're doing. And just left. Didn't even take his son home. He was like, nah. Fuck that.
I mean, he had enough bodyguards to take him over.
Yeah, but he just like sort of like, prayed solemnly over his son's body. It was like, you kind of deserve this, dude. And then he gave the airship of the Iraq to his other son, Qusay, who was a lot more stable. Still a bastard, but like a lot more, cold and calculating.
Neither of them got it anyway. One of them, they both died, right?
They both died at the same time and in the same place.
They were in a firefight for like 4 hours. They were all destroyed.
It's actually kind of a crazy like story from a military perspective because it wasn't just like, some guys showed up and cornered them. It was like, it's the special forces. It was the Green Berets that finally surrounded their compound after putting out a $30 million bounty on their heads. One of their family friends turned them in. So the special forces show up. There's like 12 of them. There's 4 guys inside. There's Uday, Qusay, their bodyguard, Mahmoud, I think his name was, and Qusay's son, Mustafa, who was 14 years old. They send in 12 special forces guys. They immediately get pushed back on the second floor by just the curtain of AK fire coming their way.
Yeah.
So the special forces guys get shot to shit by like a teenager and his 3 uncles, basically. They have to retreat. They bring in like 200 soldiers of the 101st Airborne to surround the building. They keep trying to get in. They keep getting their shit shot out of them.
By that point, you just need a drone.
That's 2003. Drones were not a thing yet.
Oh.
So what they did do was they started hitting it with increasingly larger and larger missiles. So they dropped like mortars on it, didn't kill them. They fired like, you know, I can't remember what it was. It wasn't an Exocet or something. Anyway, eventually they get up to the point where they use just a fuck-off anti-aircraft missile. And they blow the building to fucking pieces.
That's one way to do it.
And they stormed the place to find like 3 of them dead. The only one alive was Mustafa, who was, let's I say, 14 years old. And as a 14-year-old, I couldn't imagine a cooler way to die than this. Just jumped out in front of the Americans screaming, "Death to the, you know, the capitalist pig dogs," or something like that. And just immediately just shot to death. But last stand, good try, kid.
Wow. Allegedly, and no, don't do that. And
are you trying to end on a positive note after all this?
Yeah.
You know that's not how we do things around here, but I will, because I have actually written a positive note for the end of this.
Okay, go on.
And if there's anything you can learn from Saddam Hussein's story, it's that no matter how insane, no matter how, you know, mentally damaged and broken in very specific ways that you may be, you can become a best-selling writer of romance novels.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. See you next time.